Hey, everybody. This is Brian Parker with Head to Head. Catch us every single week on Thursdays live at 7 p.m. on all the streaming platforms, including X, Instagram, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, and YouTube, where we'll talk about different topics that happen throughout the week. But for right now, my hot take is about Nikki Haley and her cowardice. At a recent town hall, Nikki Haley was specifically asked what caused the Civil War. Now, this should really be a very, very easy answer, but she started it out by almost insinuating that it was a hard question. Why would that be a hard question for anyone to answer? She gave a very long winded word salad that basically said a whole lot of nothing. And the person that asked the question came back and said, it's kind of funny that you said everything you said, but you never mentioned the word slavery. Now, for those that don't know, Nikki Haley was formerly the governor of South Carolina, one of the states that seceded from the Union, one of the states that specifically said the reason that they were succeeding was because of slavery. And she failed to mention that. So her response to the gentleman when he said that was, well, what is it that you want me to say about slavery? And he said, well, no, you answered my question. Because it should have been easy for her to answer. Nikki Haley has done a whole lot to not want to step on anyone's toes, to not offend, to seem like a more reasonable or digestible candidate in opposition to Donald Trump. But when you're afraid to even address the most simplest things, does that really make you a viable candidate? Nikki Haley, you know better. And the fact that you think that there was someone to protect or not offend by saying the Civil War was a result of slavery means that either you believe that there's an audience that would draw offense to that, or you simply just don't know your history. And that would be very hard to believe when you were the governor of one of the states that succeeded from the Union. Absolutely crazy. There's no defense of that. And she tried to clean it up and say, oh, well, everybody knows that slavery was the reason. And then she says that was the easy part. Easy for who? To acknowledge it? If it was that damn easy to acknowledge it, why the hell didn't you acknowledge it? That was the easy part, but it was much more than that. What? Then she says, well, it was about the freedoms for everyone. I'm sorry, wait, what? The only people that weren't free were the slaves. Now, I will give it that women were a different class altogether, but they were free. But when you say that it was talking about freedoms and government involvement and all of these other things and economic involvement, all of those things are true, but it was all tied to economic involvement of slavery, government involved in whether slavery would be legal or not, expanded even. It all revolved around the point of slavery. Should the government be able to tell the southern states that they could not have slaves? Why did the southern states push back on slaves? Because they wanted to be able to continue to have economic gain from slavery. Slavery was an economic source for them. Not having slaves would affect them economically. All of the things that she said were true loosely, but it was all tied around slavery. Then she says, well, we know about the slavery, but what did we learn? What did we take away from that? And then she talks about, the government not, getting in the middle of people's rights and things like that, from a party that banned abortion, from a party that tells people down in Texas that even when the fetus is not viable, even when it could potentially affect the life of the mother, no, we want you to have that, have it anyway. May come out dead, may come out stillborn, may kill you. And we still want you to have it anyway. Yet out of the same breath, you're going to say that, it's the party that was sitting there trying to make sure that, government didn't overreach. Okay. I'll save that for a whole nother hot take. But Nikki Haley knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted to fan the flames of, I'm going to play both sides. Acting like you're ignorant to why the Civil War started for a lot of people is not going to endear them to vote for you, Nikki Haley. It's not going to pull away those hard right Trump people. Nothing will. But at some point, does your ambition outweigh your common decency to acknowledge what it is? Yes, you danced around and said it was wrong. Thank God that we don't have slavery anymore. I mean, I guess, hell, that's the bare minimum, right? Yeah, we don't own people anymore. But you have to acknowledge that at one point, this country thought it was okay to do that. Have we moved on from that? Yes. The lessons learned, Nikki Haley, is that you know your history so that you don't repeat your history. And in a party that's wanting to remove books, or Ron DeSantis in Florida is trying to spin that slaves actually benefited from slavery, we can't do that. Let's not insult our children. Let's not make them believe that we are so loose with history, because when you do that, you could be bound to repeat it. Thanks for joining me on this hot take. Look for more hot takes where we'll talk about this. We even talk about sports. Check us out every week again, Head to Head with Brian Parker, Thursdays on this streaming channel. Also, on Wednesdays through the rest of the football season and into the playoffs, we'll have Head to Head Sports, where myself and my co-host, Mr. Randall Hargrove, break down all the happenings in the NFL. Until then, see you guys later.